But let's start, as we do every week, by recapping our top 25. Now we have finally reached the top four who will be in the playoff. The playoff rankings: Alabama will be number one, Michigan will be number two, Georgia will be number three, and Cincinnati will be number four. Cincinnati becoming the first non-Power 5 conference team to get a playoff spot by virtue of their 13-0 record. So the playoffs will start, or the actual playoffs will be number one Alabama will play number four Cincinnati. Those teams will play. Let me get that schedule real quickly for you. Number one Alabama will play number four Cincinnati. They will play in the Cotton Bowl, which is this year one of the semifinal games. That game will be on Friday, December 31st. It will be a 3:30 Eastern Time kickoff. Number four Cincinnati, number one Alabama. Number two Michigan will host, which is not really a good word, but they will be the higher seed. They will play Georgia. In the other semifinal, that game will be in the Orange Bowl at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. The kickoff will be 7:30 p.m. It will also be on Friday, December 31st. And then, of course, those two teams will meet in the national championship game. The national championship game will be held on January 10th, I believe, and that game will be in Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. So those are your top four teams in the playoffs, and then I'll round out the rest for you. Notre Dame finished number 5, just one spot out. Notre Dame was number 6 going into the week. They needed 2 upsets to happen for them to get in. They got one of them. Number 5, Oklahoma State lost to Baylor in the Big 12 championship game, but they could not get any of the other ones. They needed either Georgia to beat Alabama, Iowa to beat Michigan, or Houston to beat Cincinnati. The most likely one going in would have been Georgia beating Alabama, but Alabama, you could say exposed Georgia, you could say dominated Georgia, you could say whatever you want, but they defeated them soundly. Michigan took care of business against Iowa, and Cincinnati ran away with their game in the second half. So Notre Dame finished 5th. Ohio State finished 6th. They did not play in the conference championship game. Baylor, by virtue of their Big 12 championship, finished 7th. Ole Miss finished 8th. Oklahoma State was 9th. Michigan State was 10th. Utah, the Pac-12 champion, finished 11th. Pittsburgh, the ACC championship champion, finished 12th. Brigham Young 13, Oregon 14, Iowa 15, Oklahoma was 16, Wake Forest 17, North Carolina State 18, Clemson all the way up to 19th at 9-3. Houston was 20th, and then the rest of it really doesn't matter much. So that's it, Nathan. We finally, after 13 weeks, if you will, of or 14 weeks, I guess it was. 14 weeks of college football. We finally have our 4 playoff teams. Any surprises to you?
Well, I'm surprised at some of the outcomes of the conference championship games, which maybe we'll get into. But as far as the rankings, I guess no real surprises considering how the championship games played out.
Right.
I'm not really surprised, but I wonder why they put Michigan at 2 and Georgia at 3. I know it doesn't matter. If Georgia was 2, Michigan 3, they were still going to play each other.
Doesn't really matter, right.
But I'm a little surprised. I would have thought they would have dropped Georgia one spot, maybe. Maybe the way they got beat. Maybe if it was close, they would have only dropped in one spot.
Right.
But I was a little surprised at that, I guess. Outside of that, I'm not really surprised at anything,